I have a task today. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm going to give it my best shot. I mean, after all, I made a coffee table out of nothing, and I have to say, thanks very much, by the way, for all the hints and tips. Somebody suggested putting wax or candle wax or even soap to make the drawer on my coffee table work a bit better, so thanks for that. Today, yes, I'm going to do lights in my van. Now, I've not done this before. This is a little bit of electrical work. I've done things with 240 volts, so I'm fairly familiar with doing that, wiring up plugs and that sort of thing. These are 12 volt lights, LEDs for the van. I've looked online, there's various different YouTube's channels and videos that you can watch. So somebody sent me, now I've got a combination of lights here. Funny enough, there's a funny thing about this. A chap called Paul Burgess, down I think in Cornwall or Devon or down there, Paul. He's very kindly sent me some LED lights like this, which have a little bit of a wire on the end, and there's a self-adhesive strip that goes on the back of that, and it sticks where you want it in the van. So I've got 4 of those, which was very kind. He sent those over. And for Christmas, thanks to Mark Burgess, so another Burgess, but not related, so Paul Burgess, the first lights, Mark Burgess, these are a strip light of LEDs on a reel. Looks very familiar to a cine film, and again it has the 2 little wires up there, positive and negative. So I've got that, and I have been buying, in order to do this, a number of things. So some wire, some red and white cable, which will do that job. A couple of switches in here. Now these, I couldn't find the type of switches I really wanted, but these are like little lamp switches, so they'll just be click on and off. We'll see how they work. And some of those little blocks, that you joiner blocks, some just basic simple joiner blocks. I've got to try and find some tape. I was looking around for some ordinary black tape, gaffer tape or that sort of thing, so that I can stick it in situ. But I guess the thing we've got to do is go into the van and have a little look round and see where we're going to position the lights, and maybe test a few things, see how bright it will be. So that's the first thing. Now then, the first issue that I have is to get rid of these sodding beams at the top here, this one and the one behind, because A, I keep banging my head on them, and B, they reduce the level of the ceiling here a little bit, and then take these lights off that are fixed on the top there as well. And once I've done that, we can then start to plan where the other lights are going to go. So, screwdriver at the hand, let's get the things off. There are some nasty hooks here which keep grabbing on my head, so they are going out first of all. Little hooks, very useful, but a pain. Stuck on this one. There we go. Right, 2 more to do. Okay, so we have all the hooks off here, which I want. The next thing is to try and prise this thing off, because it's been glued up here with very good glue, so I'm not quite sure. Oh, wait a minute, there's a spanner. There are 2 nuts in here. Now that's going to be awkward, because I've got to try and get them off with a spanner first. Right, I need to find a spanner. Right, let us have a look. Now, somewhere in here is a, no, is one of these socket sets. I got this socket set from, oh, that one might do it, from a chap, oh, I think in a chip shop many moons ago. It's an odd story. Let's see if this will, I haven't used it for a long time. I had to dig it out the shed, but in theory it should go in there, and I think that's too big. Let's try another one. Right, that one feels better. So that's undoing it that way. There it comes. Oh, one. Right, let's try this one. That seems reasonably sensible there. Oh, that was just the washer. Oh, the nuts there as well. Good. Okay. Let us move our gear out of the way in case it comes tumbling down. And now, oh, that came off. That actually didn't need, that wasn't glued on at all. That's just come off very easily. And my internal lights have, you notice they come off, they go off after about 15 minutes. There's a great big trouble here is, there's these massive, great big screws. Now, I wonder if we can get those off, because I'm gonna graze my head on these. Yeah, so they've got to come out somehow. So we've got those off now, and it's very clean and tidy up there. I quite like the way, actually, that was very easily bolted with the great big washer and a nut on there, which I might make use of if I wanted to bolt something else to them. So that's just basically just giving me some ideas. Right, the next one is this one above me with the light on it. So I think first we're going to take the lights off and then try and prise this off. And there we go. Right, that's one. The thing is, that's going to dangle now, isn't it? So I guess I really need to untangle this and take this little light out, so I should do that. Okay, that's the lights done, and for the moment they are here, making sure they're not touching each other. The next task now is to get this one is glued, and there are no bolts as far as I can see, but it's in two bits of wood. So I have a feeling that the topper piece might be bolted and this one is glued to it, which means I've got to take the lower piece off somehow. So I'm going to see if this will work. A little bit of prizing here and there. There's screws in the other one. I can see that. Actually, there are some screws. I've just spotted there are some screws in this. So let's just, okay, we're doing well. We've got one more to go. And actually this doesn't need prizing at all, so that's actually quite surprising. I thought this was glued on when I first took the rest of the, there we go, when I took the rest of the fittings out, the original van. So I've got a screw there and a screw there, and that's it. So it may well be just screwed or bolted. Let's look, let's see what happens. Okay, I've got the screws off. This is going to be prized now, I think, because it is just glued now, I think. It feels like it's something else is on there. I can't see any screws up there at all, so I'm just going to see what happens with a bit more leverage. Don't like it when it makes a jolly great loud noise like that. Slightly worrying, but it's off. Okay, now I can think about where the lights are going to go. My head clears that. A little bit of clearing up here to do. So I'm going to do that and then work out the lights and the wiring diagram as such. Well, it was time for a 5-minute break and a cup of coffee, get rid of my warm coat, jumper, because I was getting too hot. And so time to think about the wiring. Now, I've looked online and people are probably going to correct me because I may have made a complete and utter mistake, but I think there's two basic principles about lighting, wiring up lighting, and that is, one is you can wire in parallel or you can wire serially. And now, so I think serially is where you have the power comes along, it hits the light, goes through the light, let's say the live wire, it goes through the light, comes out the other end, goes to the next light, lights that one, and so on until it gets to the last light in the chain, and then the negative comes back to the battery. I think if you do that, you're using all the power, it's sort of draining as it goes along. So I think we've got to do this in parallel. So you kind of light the first light and the negative goes back, then you light the second light and the negative goes back. Right, cheers. One of the great things here is where these beams were, there's a channel inside this box. So I can run the wires across. So the plan is really to have 2 lights on this side of the van, one at this end and one there, and 2 lights on this side of the van. So I've got the 2 wires, so it should be in theory quite easy. Excuse me, those biscuits are repeating on me. So I can run my extension wire that I bought along through here, and then branch them off to light those 2 lights. But somewhere I need to secure a socket and then do the same with one of the wires from this side, 2 lights. So I just got to work out where they're going to go, stick them in place and wire them up and put the sockets on. And in theory, that's it. The other question I've got is, do I still use these, which I could do, and I could make them forward and back. So effectively I'd have 6 lights, and these are good because they've got switches on. I've stuck one light up. I just tried it. I didn't film it because I wasn't quite sure. It's very firmly on there. It comes with this sticky back plastic, not plastic, but a spongy sort of thing that goes along here. You have to remove these brackets because these brackets are here if you want to screw it in, but I'm not screwing into the van itself. So with this one over here, I've got another piece of this. So you peel off this, You stick it onto the back of the light, you peel off the red one and you locate it in position. It's going to go in there. I'm running the wires along that way, so on this particular one, so this comes off and I've got to try and get that even so it looks, because as soon as you stick it, it's about there. Push. And I think that's it. Okay, that light's on. I'm going to thread this through here, and I'm taking pot luck that it will go. Here we go. So that goes through there. We'll just carry it on, which is great because it won't be seen. Oh, right, it's come right over here already. Look at that. There's a couple more holes to do, and then that will join up with the little plastic joiner connector, electrical connector. If that, well, let's get down that end. That's it. The light is going outside, it's getting a bit dimmer. I've got my big light in here, film light, that's blasting away in my face. Actually, if I just turn that down a fraction, and then turn the aperture up a bit like that, that doesn't help at all, does it? But the reason I've done that is the moment of truth. Can you see the lights? There they are. That one's come on and the other one's come on this switch. So the thing now is to hide these wires inside this panel and glue this switch up here somewhere, and then that will be that secure. And I've still just got to do this, and then I've still got to work out what about the film wire, you know, the one that's on the reel. Okay, that's one door. The other door. So all the other lights are off bar this light in here. I've got to find my switch. Hang on, there it is. So if I turn that one out, now we're in darkness, and I put my other lights on. Okay, they're not as bright as the mains light, that's for sure. There's a little bit of light, so but that's only the two. Remember, I've got more of them. Now, if I just quickly adjust my aperture, it's funny, it's gone very green, and if I up my gain there a bit, okay, so it's a bit weird at the moment. It's because color correction and various things, but that's all changeable. Once I've got the other two, and then the other four really in situ, it's going to be a lot brighter. But I'm very thrilled to have got thus far with the switch. I've just got to finesse it all. Whew. I didn't think I'd get here. It's the next day. It's the next day, and I've been fiddling with this LED light that good old Mark Burgess had sent me only a couple of days ago for Christmas, and I have now threaded it all the way around. I've got to work out how to attach it, because I thought there might be some sticky stuff on the back, but although there is a back bit, the actual plastic that holds the LED is not sticky at all. Actually, on closer inspection, I noticed that there is a sticky substance on there, and what I was doing, I was peeling off both, so presumably one can stick it to the sides of the van, so that's very encouraging. Okay, anyway, shall we turn it on, see what it looks like? I have yet to put the switch glued in any position, because this is just really to get a vague idea. But let's turn it on. Actually, before I turn it on, I think what we should do is shut the doors and see what, and turn the other light out. This one, where's the button? Where is the button? There we go. and then we can turn it on from inside. And also these extra lights here, if we give it a couple of minutes, they'll go out and it'll be like the real thing. Okay, so for the moment we have artificial light. Just got to wait for these lights to go off. There they go. Right, now I've got to stumble over and find the thing. Here it is, ready? And there it is. How does that look? Yeah, well, that's not too bad. I mean, they're just, you know, as you can see, just strung out in any old fashion, not necessarily pointing. You can see the difference. If I point them inwards, there's a massive difference. They're just hanging, bouncing off the black, and the black, of course, is absorbing the heat, the light, so that's not really helping. But I think if that's stuck in a way that's like that, that will really help. You can see what a difference that makes. And if I put the other lights on, which are there, that's not too bad, is it? And I've still got 4 more lights. So I think I'll put one over by the door up here on there, which will be one of these ones with the switches on. One of these, so you've got the extra option. This, bear in mind, is with the normal work lights that we're waiting for to go off. They're off as well. So all in all, this is actually going to be quite successful. And these are a they're a lovely light. So the next thing now is to try and glue them in position where I think, and I think that'll be it. That's about as good as I'm gonna get it, actually. So there we go. Let's switch it on. Oh yeah, it works. Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go in this video. I've managed to get it all on. It all looks pretty good. The plugs and sockets are a bit of a lash up, I have to say. A bit of black tape to hide the wires. There's some bits still hanging down. I want to just think about this in a little bit more detail, and then I will hide the wires a bit better than that. Also, the other lights, possibly that end, I think coming this way would be good. And I think that's it really. But anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been interesting, me fiddling about with bits of wire and lighting. I've been fascinated by these. Oh, there we are. That's the internal lights gone off. And put the other ones on again. There we go. Perfect. I need to take the van out now to charge up the batteries in case these have drained the leisure battery down. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Turn these off quick.